Hello, welcome to another episode of Chaotic Torture RC. It's been a little while since I've done any video work. I've been busy doing some stuff around my house, and I got a lot of projects that are on the back burner that I'm kind of getting things prepared for, but figured I would take some time and make another video today. I've got a little bit of free time before I got to get some things done. First of all, I want to give thanks to a gentleman named Jamie Eli. He is a member of the Indiana Scale Rock Crawlers page on Facebook. He had a contest with this past week for a scalerfab wraith winch bumper, which is right here, new in the package. What the contest was post a picture, action shot of your rig. One with the most votes won. It was on Labor Day. I feel kind of bad, not necessarily for winning, but due to the holiday, a lot of the members were away from the page and didn't get to put their pictures of their trucks up, and then a lot of other members were just away, so there wasn't a whole lot of people voting. But for the votes that did come in, the picture I posted was of one of my RC four-wheel drive Trailfinder 2s, really muddy, doing some mud work and stuff. So I happened to win the contest. Won this bumper. I have never used any scalerfab parts in the past. I've had some decals from used rigs that I've bought. I've seen their product before. As a fabricator, I usually make a lot of stuff myself when it comes to things like this, but seeing how I've won this, I figured I'd put it to use. Now, those of you that know me on a personal basis know that I do not usually run a stock wraith chassis on any of my wraith setups. They are all tube chassis or rock bouncer setups. But since this was built for the wraith, I figured why not dig out some old scrap parts that I've got and do another wraith build. What I have here is probably my second or third wraith chassis that I ever had. Nothing special. I did the traditional fastback mod using axial links. If you see, my hardware is all rusty, but you know what? It's a wraith. I had this one set up when I ran it probably with brushless or something in it. But seeing how that this winch has the fair lead mount and a winch mount, I'm going to actually build this up as a crawler. So first things first, I'm just going to go ahead and open the package. It was brand new. I don't know if Jamie bought it or if it was donated to him, but regardless, it was a very nice gesture on his behalf to do something for the Indiana Scale Rock Crawlers Facebook page. Upon opening it, don't know what kind of coating on it. It's a nice texture, kind of reminds me of like a rhino lining. I don't know if it's powder coated. I've not looked on their site to look up the details to it. Feels solid. And they've got rings welded here. Let me zoom my camera in a little bit. Get you all a closer look at this. They have rings welded to tabs there, and then down on the bottom they've got more rings for your lower mounts. Around here for the front, you can see where your fair lead mount is. There's a couple holes there. Looks like possibilities for some LEDs, but I'm not gonna lie, it's got a place for a winch. That's why I want to build this as a crawler. Once I mount my winch, depending on what kind of room I have, I may toss on a set of my One Too Many RC rock pods on here. I can't make no promises to it. I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to get them to mount there. I have no problems drilling new holes in this if need be, as long as it's not going to hurt the integrity of the bumper, which I don't see it doing. So I will back this back out some. And then guess I'll just get to mounting it on the chassis to show what it looks like. With this specific body here, this was the Jeep body I cut the hood out. I've got a hood for it that's hinged and stuff. That way I can mount my battery here. Like I said, I've not run this chassis probably 3 years. So I'm going to have to do some fabrication for my body, for my battery, because I do have the battery up front mod. Anyways, I went ahead and just saved some time. I pulled all the screws out of the front bumper beforehand. So, boom. Front stock plastic bumper gone. And hold that up there. I don't know. On the stock bumper, you got the little nipples there. But everything lines up. But part of me wants to shave them down. I think it would just be a cleaner look with them shaved off. And since there was no directions that came with the bumper, it didn't say what to do or not. Let me see. I don't know if these scissors are sharp enough to do so. If they are, I'll just cut them off because Axial's plastic's relatively soft. That went like that. Boom. That was easy enough. Cut off flat and flush. Couldn't have asked for it to be any easier. And we get some hardware here. And of course I have the wrong size wrench out. So let me dig in the box here. Alright, I've got a 2mm here in my T-wrenches. Now I'm not saying cut the nipple tabs off of your bumpers if you use this hardware, but for me, I just wasn't feeling the way that was going to look, so off it came. Get that started. I've seen a lot of various different kits out there for the wraith chassis that does the metal bolt-on accessories. This is the first one that I've ever had for the wraith. I think back I had a different bumper on one of my other ones, but like I said, I don't run the stock wraith chassis too much. Shouldn't have tightened that up all the way yet. Having issues getting it lined up. So I'll back that loose some. And then shouldn't be a problem here. Sorry for all the slow dead time with this. Having a little bit of alignment issues, but there, I got it started that time. And with all things that are hand fabricated and stuff, you may have to do some tweaking and stuff from time to time. I just had to push the top plastic bar out just a tad to get it lined up. Then once it lined up, everything's good and straight so far. Now to get the bottom ones in. And where I made mention of the front having the holes where it looks like you can put LEDs, it's also where you would come in to tighten up your hardware for the bottom bracket. And once you got your hardware mounted in there, that usually once you have a bumper mounted, there's no need to take it off unless you're changing the body for this body style. Other body styles don't even need to take the front bumper off. But once you have it all mounted in, I see no problems with mounting. It looks like you probably get a 5mm LED in there if you wanted to go with just standard LED. And once again, just got to pry on the plastic just a tad. Got that started. Get the other one started before I crank it down. And for this setup, I'm going to be running I had an old RC 4-wheel drive 2-speed transmission. I figured I'll go ahead and put that in there because I plan on running a 35 turn brushed in this. No need to put brushless power in them like I used to due to the fact that I've got the axial bomber that I've got set up for brushless. So if I want to go bash on some rocks and hills, I've got that. Then I've got a couple actual rock bouncer chassis that I use for heavy bashing. So I figured I would tone this one down, use it as a crawler. You know, like I said, got the winch mount. I've never mounted a winch to a stock wraith, so I figured take this opportunity, build me a little 2.2 crawler and have fun with it. A little something different to run other than my G-Made R1. Which I have fun with it. It's a neat little truck as well. That screw to start threading. I'm not using the stock axial screws, so I'm having to get the threads started. I'm using hardware from my screw loose kit. I should go through and change out all my hardware with all the rusty hardware that I have on this, but I'm not going to bother. Alright. Got that mounted on there. Definitely a different look than what I'm used to seeing with a wraith front end. It definitely gives you room to put your winch. Looks like you can use the RC 4-wheel drive 8-scale winch. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. There's the look from the front. Never mind if my body's not straight yet. I don't have it mounted and secured to the chassis yet, so it's just kind of free floating. So that's the scalerfab wraith front stinger bumper with fair lead mount. Feels sturdy. It'll give you a sturdier handle than what the front bumper was for picking up your truck. So I know a lot of times I'd pick the wraith up by this bumper, and it's good to have some flex though. The plastic would flex, but guess while I'm on here, let me see if I've got the hardware for the transmission. I can go ahead and mount the transmission. And I plan on doing a build series for this truck. I don't know if you all would, I'll record it, but I don't know if you all want to watch the whole build series of this truck, because basically it's going to be built and put together with parts that I already have around. My intentions are G-Made piggyback shocks for the shocks on it, this RC 4-wheel drive 2-speed transmission. I will more than likely be using, I've got some Vanquish links sitting around. I'll more than likely be using those in it. Guess while I'm on here, I'll go ahead and mount my transmission. And then once done, it'll have the battery mounted up front, my electronics tucked aside. It will have full interior with the driver. Somewhere on this, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be on the front bumper, but I will be incorporating some of my One Too Many RC lights on it. The only bad thing about not doing this with the skid off is seeing the initial holes to get started. But once you get it started, it's not too bad. Don't want to over tighten them as I need to get the other screws in there. I want to give a shout out to RC 4-wheel drive. Some of their products are usually pretty dead on and good. Some products not so great when it comes to handling power. With this 2-speed transmission, I have beat the snot out of it. I've run brushless through it, brushed. It's handled everything I've put in it. It's been easy on servos. I had a couple servos go out just because I didn't have them set and trimmed in properly. But I really do like this transmission. It's got a nice case. I want to say aluminum. I'm not 100% sure because I've not looked up the specs of the case in a while. It's got all metal gears inside. Didn't have to do no upgrades on it. I'm running the original spur gear on it since I've had it. So as long as you set your pinion mesh right. And this one I've never run the slipper clutch. I keep my clutch cranked down, so I've not had any issues with eating. It's 32 pitch spur, but I've not had any issues with eating teeth up on the spur, which I have on some other vehicles, especially with my Bomber, because I don't run the slipper clutch loose. And please excuse the noise in the background. I have a new kitten in the house that wants to play with everything. And she finds the most inopportune times to be aggravating and decide to play. I thought I had everything out of her way before I started recording, but she has since found something hanging on one of my shelves. Well, actually, you can see her back there. Right back there. I've got a, I can't remember what it's called, one of the little clips that repellers use on their ropes, hanging with a waterproof canister on it, and she decided that's what she wants to play with. So from time to time you may see this. I wasn't really a big cat person, but it showed up at a difficult time when the family was going through. So it ended up being a much needed stress reliever. So we kept it. The wife likes it. Got my transmission mounted. Got the scalerfab front bumper. And let me zoom in on these. I didn't show it when I opened the packaging. They send little miniature decals, too much lighting because they're high gloss. It's got their logo. You get 2 black. I'm definitely not going to see that, and my apologies. You get 2 black and 2 white. So on that note, I've got the bumper on. I'll bring it a little bit closer, let you check it out. Like I said, it's got a textured feel to it. It reminds me of like the Rhino lining type feel. You can go check out their website. They have them on there. Let's see if the tag says what their website is. Does not say. Don't quote me. Scalerfab.com maybe. You know what? I can find out real quick. I'm sitting here and I've got a computer at my disposal, so just so I don't misquote. Yeah, www.scalerfab.com. They do a lot of trail armor products. So check out their website if this is something that you're interested in. They make parts for every kit that I've seen as far as the trail trucks. I've seen some RC 4-wheel drive parts on there. I've SCX 10s. They've got stuff for the Wraith, of course. They've got a couple different bumpers. They've got some rock sliders. They've got some parts for the Ascender. Like I said, the main reason I hadn't bought any is because when it comes to fabrication stuff, I've usually made a lot of mine except for some of my chassis work. I have made some of my own chassis, but I also believe in supporting the hobby, so I have bought some other chassis, but as far as little things like this, I've usually made up my own. So I'm gonna end the video here, but just viewers that watch this, please comment if you would like to watch any more of the build of this series. Like I said, I'm gonna record it regardless, but whether I upload it, I'll leave that up to my viewers. If y'all would like to watch the build of what everything I put into this and how it goes, comment on there, and you know, even if just one person wants to watch it, I'll do the build for the one person. If not, I'll keep the build silent, and then I'll come back and do a video after the truck's complete, after I've got it set up, and then I will also do some test run videos where I'm going to put the scalerfab product to the test, because I will, and anybody that knows me knows that I run my trucks hard, and I run them hard on purpose. And I will bash any hard rock I can find full throttle head on with this to see if there's any weakness in it, how well it holds up, and just to be sure that, in my opinion, if the product is worth having or not. Which it looks very well made for what it is. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like this video if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't like it. I get those too, and I don't mind them. Thanks for watching.